Hello, so this is part 2 of physical quantities and units, A-level physics. Let's start. We were on an example. The question said that a metal sphere of radius r is dropped into a tank and it sinks at speed v. It experiences a drag force F given by F equals to KRV, where K is a constant. What are the SI base units of K? So our first step is to make K the subject of the formula. F equals KRV and K equals F over RV. Now F is MA and R and V remains as it is. Now substituting the units, M is kg, acceleration is meters per second square, radius is meter, and velocity is meters per second. Now doing the cancellation, meter cancels out with meter, second cancels out with this second square, so second would be left. So what do we have? We have kg second minus 1, second minus 1, and meter minus 1. So our answer would be C. C would be our appropriate answer. So our next topic is scalars and vectors. So first, scalar: mass, speed, pressure, temperature, distance, time, work done, kinetic energy, power, electric charge, all are scalar quantities. Now vectors are displacement, velocity, moment, torque, momentum, force, electric magnetic field, weight, and acceleration. Now let's discuss what's the difference between scalar and vector. So scalar is a quantity which can be described by giving its magnitude only, is known as scalar. So vector is a quantity which has magnitude and direction both, is a vector quantity. So you can see from the example that displacement has magnitude and direction both, whereas distance only have magnitude but have no direction. Similarly, speed have only magnitude but velocity has magnitude as well as the direction. So that's the vital difference between these two. So our next topic is addition and subtraction of vectors. If the vectors are in same direction and they are parallel, they are added. Let's suppose we have a vector 20 Newton directed vertically upwards and another vector 10 Newton directed vertically upwards. They both would add up and make up 10 plus 20, 30 Newton vertically upwards. So if we have vectors in opposite direction, like we have 20 Newton upwards and 30 Newton downwards, then we can add them up, but the downward vector would be represented by a negative sign. So 20 plus minus 30 would make up minus 10 Newton. So minus means that the vector is directed downwards because we have assumed positive to be upward direction. So that's how vectors are being added and subtracted. Now let's move on to resolution of vectors. Suppose that we have a force F which is inclined at an angle theta with the horizontal as shown. Now what do we do for its resolution? Any vector which is at an angle theta, do bear in mind that it is resolved into two components, horizontal component and vertical component. Now the component alongside theta is always cos. So this, which is the horizontal component, is f cos theta. It is f cos theta because it is alongside theta. Next is the component which is in front of theta. This is in front of theta, so this is f sin theta. Always remember that the component in front of theta is always f sin theta, and the component alongside theta is always cos theta. And also do notice the head to tail rule. This is the resultant vector f, which is being resolved by f cos theta, which starts from the tail of the resultant vector and follows, and the arrow follows up to the head of the resultant vector f. Now let's see, if we have two vectors v1 and v2, how can we find the resultant of these two vectors? So our step 1 would be join the head of v1 with the tail of v2. So we have joined the head of v1, this is the head, the pointed section, head of v1 with the tail of v2. We have performed our step number 1. So step 2 is vector from tail of v1 to head of v2 is your resultant vector. So from tail of v1 to head of v2 is this vector r, which can be written as r equals v1 plus v2. Now if we change the direction of any vector v1 or v2, we simply would have r is equals to v1. For example, we change the direction of v2, which I will show you shortly, which will become minus v2. We just need to change the direction of v2, which I will show you. Now we have changed the direction of v2, the arrow has been reversed, so a negative sign has been introduced. So that is basically subtraction of vectors. So this is r equals v1 plus minus v2, or could be written as r equals v1 minus v2. Thanks for watching. Do like and subscribe my channel. In the next video I will make past questions related to this topic. Thank you.